and welcome to a new video. I hope that you are staying safe and healthy, and in this video I am painting a simple landscape with mountains and trees. Before starting the tutorial, I'm going to quickly go over the materials. I am using my Winsor & Newton watercolor brushes, my Montmartre watercolor set, my medium-sized Chinese brush, and my Montmartre 300 GSM watercolor pad. So before painting, I added masking tape to the edges of my page to get that straight white border, and made sure the tape was less sticky to try and prevent it tearing the page when I remove it later. Then with my pencil, I drew a quick outline of the mountains and the ground in the foreground, with the mountains furthest away on the horizon line, and mountains in the middle ground starting below the horizon line as they are closer. To make the pencil marks less noticeable, you should gently rub out these lines so you can faintly see them. I forgot to do this, so I made the mountains darker on the pencil lines. I started with the sky as I am using the wet on wet technique, and you should start with the background first to then layer the middle and foreground on top without having the hassle of painting around things. So the sky, I wet the entire page with clean water with my Chinese brush so I could do this quicker. You want to make sure the page is thoroughly wet but without any puddles as always. I found that the edge of my page dried the quickest, so double check to see that it is still wet before adding your paint. Then I painted in the blue areas of the sky, which is mostly the top, and then leaving areas for the orange and pink clouds near the horizon line. Then I re-wetted the bottom of the page to paint in the reflection, and doing the same but mirroring the sky roughly. Then with my size 5 round brush, I added more paint to the orange and pink clouds, painting quite loosely and adding a few pink horizontal lines for the pink clouds. When doing this, try not to blend too much with the blue paint, as you don't want to muddy your paint, forming a brown. Once the page was completely dry, I painted the first layer of the mountains with a warmer purple, keeping the layer very light. Then I painted the mountains in the middle ground with the cooler purple, as these are further away from where the sun would be and would be in deep shadows, forming a silhouette. Then when the mountains in the background were dry, then I painted the lower layer of the mountains with another layer of the same warm purple. Then I painted the ground in the foreground and the other mountain in the middle ground with the cooler purple. Then to hide the pencil lines a bit better, I painted another layer on the top mountain layer in the background. but keeping it quite light, but adding more paint on the very top of the mountain while it was still wet. Okay, so for the reflection, I added horizontal lines to hint the small ripples of the water, but I think I did these too dark, and so to do these lightly, add only a little bit of paint first to your clean wet brush before adding these lines. I did this for the soft reflection of the mountains. I struggled with the reflection and made it too dark with too many horizontal lines, so don't do what I did and try and keep it light. Unless you like the look of the water that I did, then go ahead and make it darker. I just prefer that I kept it light. Onto the trees. So I start with the tree trunk, painting a thin vertical line, and as these are alpine trees, from the trunk I made lots of short strokes going outwards and pointing down at an angle, keeping the tree thinner at the top and gradually thicker at the bottom. Then I painted another smaller tree beside it. Next, I painted in some grass coming from the ground of the trees. Then I painted some trees on the mountains in the middle ground, which was really hard for me with my unsteady hands and probably needing a thinner brush than the one I was using. Then I painted a couple of birds. To do this, I start with the wings in a curved tick shape, painting two on either side of each other, like as you can see me do, with the line curving into the center slightly thicker. Then I painted a small dot to connect the two wings for the body. And we are done. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked this landscape and want to see other landscapes like this, then you can check out my watercolor landscapes playlist. I would really appreciate it if you liked this video and subscribe for weekly Saturday videos where I paint flowers, animals, landscapes, as well as other watercolor and drawing related videos. And as always, God bless and I'll see you later.